Good afternoon and welcome to Tafakari. If you're new here, Tafakari is a Kiswahili word that means to ponder, to contemplate, or to think deeply. And it is the intention of this space to encourage critical thinking for the purposes of devising effective solutions to meet the challenges of our times. So, in this particular episode, we shall be talking about the importance of ideology with respect to AI development in Africa. And starting off with why should ideology matter? In trying to understand that, it's important to understand what an ideology is. And an ideology with respect to AI development would be articulating the ideas, the ideals, and the beliefs, as well as values that underpin AI development within Africa. And this is especially important now because Africans are increasingly aware of the importance of AI sovereignty in Africa. Because the current status quo of technological dependency is not in service to the continent. But that said, it's one thing to be aware of AI sovereignty in Africa. It's another thing to articulate what that would look like. What values, what ideals, what ethos would govern that. And so that's where an ideology comes in. And to cement this point further, I'd want to reference one of the foremost decolonial thinkers within Africa, and that was Frantz Fanon. And here we shall refer to his book, The Wretched of the Earth, on page 124. And this particular translation is by Constance Farrington. And this is how he articulates the importance of an ideology with respect to the question of independence. He says, in the first place, when the intellectual elements have carried out a prolonged analysis of the true nature of colonialism and of the international situation, they will begin to criticize their party's lack of ideology and the poverty of its tactics and strategy. They begin to question their leaders ceaselessly on crucial points. What is nationalism? What sense do you give to this word? What is the meaning? Independence for what? And in the first place, how do you propose to achieve it? They ask these questions and at the same time require that the problems of methodology should be vigorously tackled. And in the very same way, we would ask ourselves if we are to apply the same logic to AI development with respect to ideology, then an ideology would help us articulate what does sovereign AI development look like for Africa? What would be the tactics to achieve sovereign AI? We'll also want to ask ourselves, sovereign AI for what? Or to what means? For what purposes? And finally, what ethos, what values would underpin our process of sovereign AI development within the continent? So those are just some of the few points that illustrate the importance of an ideology. And that is all I had for today. In the next few episodes, we shall go into a little bit of detail with respect to each of these questions. Specifically, next week we should look at sovereignty for what and why that is an important question to ask. So until then, kwaherini.